What's up, dudes?
It's going.
It's going. Just pulling this up here. Should be live, I think. Have a little chat ski about the Biden administration. First week, almost the first week. Chat ski. Anyway, we just got done recording a couple episodes of for the Moose Club that will be posted, I don't know, maybe later this week. There we go. That's what I wanted. All right. So anyway, we're gonna talk about what kind of Biden's first actions, kind of his first week of his presidency, kind of some of the things he's done. I know, Bork, you weren't on the inauguration live stream that we did, but what do you think of kind of what Biden so far in his first week-ish? Yeah, just kind of what are your thoughts so far? What he's done? Fan, not a fan? What do you think?
Yeah. So just reading off what his executive orders have been so far, with memorandum freezing approval of rules of past and final days of Trump administration, executive orders rejoining the Paris Agreement on climate change, executive order to promote racial equity, proclamations ending ban on U.S. entry from majority Muslim countries, executive orders requiring mask wearing on federal property, executive order coordinating a government-wide COVID-19 response, revising immigration enforcement policies, undoing regulatory restrictions on federal agencies, incorporating undocumented immigrants into census, refocusing on the climate crisis and canceling the Keystone XL pipeline, banning discrimination on the basis of gender identity or sexual discrimination or sexual orientation, revamping regulatory review, mandating ethics pledge for government appointees, pulling funds from the border wall, pausing federal loan student payments, reinstating deferred and forced departure for Liberians, strengthening deferred action for childhood arrivals. And then on day 2, per this article on NBC, promoting COVID-19 safety in domestic and international travel and expanding access to COVID-19 treatments. So, I mean, it's for executive orders and being so early into it, I would say it's a pretty good start, but it's a bit too early to tell any sort of direction that I think they're heading in, aside from their first COVID bill pledge, or I don't know, drafts or whatever you want to call it. Their first run at it doesn't inspire me with any sort of confidence, but we can talk about that later. But yeah, so far so good, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, there's only so much you can do by executive order. Right. But I think it was a good start, at least. You hit them, but like some of the big ones, the Paris Climate Agreement, obviously. I think something as simple as making it officially mandated that you have to wear masks on federal property, stuff like that. Will obviously be good for help the pandemic. But yeah, it's good stuff. Right. I know they've talked about their plan for the $1.9 $1.9 trillion. I know they're trying to drum up support in the Senate for that, so that'll be promising. I know there's already pushback kind of from the Romneys and Susan Collins about, we just had the $900 billion one. Like, we don't need this right now. This is too early, blah, 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 blah. So it'll be interesting to see. Joe, what do you think just so far, 5 days in?
I mean, it's just so, we talked about this on the inauguration day. It's just really nice to just have, straightforward, concise plans, daily briefings, active discussion. It came out on Sunday that the president, the vice president, the economic team, and 8 senators from each party joined in on a call to, talk about what they liked, disliked, just this regular functioning of government that's been just gone for the last 2 or 3 years. First year it seemed like, they had a couple things, working still in the Trump administration, but especially the last 2 years where they just gave up any perception of a functioning government. It's just nice to have that back, in my opinion. I'm not even going to get into the policies. I think all the policies that he's enacted so far were kind of greatly talked about during the campaign, so nothing really surprising so far.
Yeah, I'm just updating the title from the inauguration live stream we did, so I'm just updating that real quick. But yeah, I think it was a strong start. A lot of the things that putting the freeze on last minute executive actions that Trump towards the end of his presidency, it's good. I think we're going to start now seeing, you hit it with just having a sense of normalcy and press briefings again, the things that are just I think we probably took for granted pre-Trump, of just how the White House should work and how, what professionalism looks like and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's been refreshing. I don't miss the bumbling craziness that was the Trump administration. It was entertaining, but
this was something as small as them putting out a plan for the next day instead of you were talking about on the last episode, just them putting something out as a press briefing of different than the president's going to be in the Oval making mini calls and talking mini meetings with people, actually have a functioning, idea of what's going on with this administration is nice.
Yeah, I agree. What do you think? Okay, so moving forward now, we're almost through the first week. Like I said, they're trying to drum up support for the COVID relief package that they want to pass. It's over twice as big as the previous one, which I think the three of us will be in agreement it's needed. Where do you think they go from here? Now, it's got to be COVID under control. What do you think?
Yeah, obviously dealing with the pandemic and give people their $1,400 stimulus right now. That's going to be the mantra in the coming months. Unfortunately, I think it is going to take a little bit longer than people realize, because it seems like Biden has at least said publicly that he would prefer to come to some sort of bipartisan agreement instead of just going at all of this through budget reconciliation.
Right.
Which I don't know.
We might have to dumb down what budget reconciliation is for some of the folks, but
well, yeah, instead of trying to pass this with 60 votes in the Senate, trying to pass it with 50 and getting Kamala to break the tie, essentially. That's essentially what it comes down to. And I don't know, and it seems like Biden's opening offer has been a compromise with himself. So we'll see. We'll see what this final stimulus looks like when it goes through, because the last criticism of the last stimulus was that it wasn't big enough. So we'll see going forward.
Yeah, that's the mistake. And it was designed that way with the Great Recession, 2008, 2009. They made it very difficult for Obama to pass an aggressive stimulus, and then them being Republicans, and then because it wasn't an aggressive enough stimulus, the recovery was great. The economy grew more under Obama than it did under Trump. That's just the truth.
Right.
It didn't grow as quickly. It didn't bounce back as quickly due to the just how soft the stimulus was. So I think, and Biden obviously was there for that. So like you got to think that they are trying hard not to make the same mistake. Like Obama's thing was, he thought he could kind of extend an olive branch and, work across the aisle, and they would, and obviously we found out that just wasn't in the cards for McConnell and the Republican Senate. So like, I don't know. I hopefully the Biden administration is just going to go hard with stimulus and get us back on track here. They are kind of downplaying the expectations for the testing rollout. The administration is, but Fauci has essentially, the goal was 100 million tests in 100 days, and Fauci was basically like, yeah, I don't think we're gonna have a problem getting to that. Now, keep in mind, we're supposed to have 20 million tests administered by the end of, or vaccines administered by the end of December, and we didn't even come close to that with Trump. So
that's what seems so weird about it to me, that it seemed like the administration was backing that number up and then walked it back, and then Fauci seemed to kind of like, oh yeah, this is 100% doable. So yeah. I don't know. That is one thing that seems to be off with their messaging on COVID, which kind of is surprising. But
well, I think it's by design. I think they're so that when they hit that mark, like they're able to tout it up as, oh, look what we did. Like, but I think
you always, that's always been an idea of politics is, you set these, goals that seem lofty, but you always want to underestimate and overperform. And the whole 100 million vaccinations in, 2.5 months, or what, 3 months plus, that's really not that hard of a goal.
Right.
They're already on track to do that pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, and Biden did today come out and say, they were downplaying it a little bit, but he did say that they think they're going to get to 1.5 million vaccinations a day. Like they think that's an attainable. To be fair, vaccine that sounds like it's going to be approved here before too long. So there's going to be more options now. So, but just simple things like, I know Trump signed the Defense Production Act that would compel, industry to he signed it, but then there was no plan on how to, put it into work. And I think it'll be things like that. I think will be very, very helpful with COVID. But I don't know. We'll see. I think I'm optimistic about it. I think that it's good to have competent leadership again. I think. Joe,
I was just going to say any amount of federal coordination is going to help this entire undertaking. Right. So
wait, are you saying we shouldn't leave it to the states? Oh, come on.
I'm saying that they don't have as many levers that the federal government has, so it only makes sense for someone with the bargaining and purchasing power of the federal government to do this instead of the states all have to grab bag what they need out of, the federal government's pot.
Stop with your socialistic, views. Come on.
Blasphemy.
Doesn't seem like it's going too well here. So.
Are you saying we shouldn't trust Kim Reynolds with our, COVID, rollout?
Dude, I mean, until Christmas, every time I came back to the Quad Cities, like, you couldn't, like, I didn't even like going to the grocery store because morons wouldn't even wear masks to the grocery store. Like, it was like chaos in Iowa and Illinois. Well, Illinois not as bad, but Iowa, it was just like ridiculous. But when I came back for Christmas, I felt a little bit safer. People were, whether it was because they had an epiphany and were decided to do the right thing, or if it was just because they had no choice. Kind of sticking with the COVID thing. Did you guys see the Deborah Burke's interview that she did? I think it was over the weekend regarding. Well, essentially, she did an interview saying that President Trump was getting alternate data and graphs, and she was saying that I know he was getting this alternate data because I didn't produce these graphs for him. And this is kind of in line. We've talked about this kind of thing previously, whether it had been Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski, but like why was she waiting until now to kind of alert people to this fact? Like if she, like, why didn't she tell people? And Maggie Haberman, I think Maggie Haberman's with the New York Times. I probably have that wrong. But she mentioned that, like,
No.
do you know who she, anyway, she mentioned that she
is. She's with the New York Times.
Oh, okay. Yeah. She had mentioned that, like, there were multiple requests from multiple different outlets to interview her, Deborah Burks, and she had no interest in speaking with the media. So, like, the opportunities were there for her to, like, let people know what was going on. But it really boils down to she was just more worried about upsetting Trump and, staying in her position than she was about doing the job well. So, cool. Thanks for letting everybody know now. Would have been nice if you had, shared with everybody that this was happening 8-9 months ago.
During the up ramp of a pandemic.
Yeah. Like, how many lives could have been saved it's just so ridiculous. I don't know.
Like, does she think that absolves her of what happened, or why would she even, like, voice that information? Like, does she think that makes her position look better, that she is now like, oh yeah, well, he got different information than what I was giving him. So what could I have possibly have done about this? It's like, well, why is this the first time you're saying this to anybody?
Yeah, it's I don't know. Sorry, I get distracted. What else? I did see some chat. I think this would be an interesting thing to hear from you guys about. On, is it Breyer? How do you say his name? The Supreme Court Justice?
Stephen Breyer.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what publication it was or what outlet, but talking about, essentially making the argument that he should probably step down in this term so that they can name a replacement.
100%.
He should.
100%.
He absolutely should.
Yeah.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg, God bless her, but she should have done it, in Obama's second term, and we wouldn't have had the issue that we ran into.
Yeah.
So hopefully, I don't know. Do you guys think that'll happen?
I mean, I think enough pressure, like, the Democrats can't lose another Supreme Court seat, and I don't think they're willing to put the Senate up for grabs. So I think there has to be enough pressure coming in from enough places to say that, like, hey, you need to step aside, and, like, we need to put, like, a 40-year-old in your seat. Sorry, That's just because we're not going to they're not going to add any seats to the Supreme Court, so that math isn't changing. So, given what the current composition is, you can't risk another old guy on the Supreme Court dying randomly with, whoever Mitch McConnell's successor is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you will see that rumor will become more than just murmurs, I think.
Oh yeah, I don't think it's even a rumor anymore. I think it's a pretty well accepted thing that once he gets his 100 days in and kind of starts to establish where his administration's going, I think that's going to be one of the first things they do. I mean, it has to be. I mean,
what's the plan on speech classes for Biden? Well, I mean, if you watch the last 4 years of Trump, then I think we're already exponentially better than where we were. So,
come on, man.
Come on, man.
Yeah. Come on, man.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I can understand how somebody could be attracted to the Trump speeches of just adjectives, but that don't really say anything. But
Biden will be fun too.
Oh no!
I think we'll have a lot of fun watching Biden too.
There's gonna be. I mean, Biden is he's notorious for his gaffes. Like there's gonna be plenty of. Kind of. It makes me think. Do you guys speaking of gaffes? You see Schumer's gaffe the other day on the Senate floor?
Oh yeah.
When he said when he talked about when he meant to say Trump's insurrection, but he said Trump's erection.
Yeah. Is that a Freudian slip, Chuck, or what's going on?
Yeah, and the best part was when Schumer said it, he said it and corrected himself, and he did one of these ooh, he knew what he said type thing. It was funny.
Good job, Chuck.
Yeah, thanks, Chuck.
Put that mental image in everybody's head. Thank you.
Oh boy. Oh shoot! What else? What else has been going on this week? That's
had Biden's cabinet confirmations with it, which have been okay, but some of them have been kind of shit.
Yeah, I saw that they did. They ended up getting around to getting the waiver for Lloyd Austin for Defense Department, which there was some pushback from Democrats early on when his name was floated. But he's good. I mean, he was in charge of SATCOM. I think
somehow they're not on the grounds that he is literally on the board of fucking Raytheon.
Yeah, I was about to say there was some pushback from the left of the fact that
the waiver is completely aside in this whole thing, in my opinion. Sure, whatever. But the fact that the guy literally up until a few days ago, to my knowledge, was still listed on Raytheon's website as a board member, it's just come on now. Come on, man. I thought that's the literal kind of revolving door stuff that I thought we were done with, at least ostensibly.
Well, you wouldn't have lifted the executive action that he had, not to let people do that.
There's other people, is what I'm saying. It doesn't literally have to be the guy that's on the board of Raytheon. It could be anybody else.
Could have been people.
So I understand that concern, but I mean, surely he's not he has to leave the board of Raytheon, right?
Well, I mean, sure he will, but again,
with that said, I guess
the other part, how long has he been out of the military and he's already on the board of Raytheon?
Yeah.
That, and that's, that is kind of the problem there.
I mean, if you were Raytheon, wouldn't you want a 30-year military general on your board of advisors?
if he was going to be if he was potentially going to be the Secretary of Defense someday, yeah, I would definitely. Yeah.
So I was thinking when in the midst of asking that question about, he has to.
Geez. Thanks for the follow.
I feel like that's insincere, but that's fine.
Yeah.
In the middle of my question, asking you like he has to like leave the board, right? And then I thought at the same time, well, Trump had to divest from his business when he took the White House, and well, that never happened. So I guess the answer is no, he doesn't have to.
Yes, he did.
No. Oh yeah.
Come on.
Like so ridiculous.
Oh yeah, the level of corruption, like not outright corruption, but might as well be, is pretty astounding when you like take a step back and think about some of that shit.
Like Trump was going to drain the swamp, and he fucking, he signs the executive order saying if you work in government, then you can't work for lobbying for I think it was 3 years after you leave the government. And then in his last week in office, he just cancels that executive order. Like how swampy, like it's so ridiculous. Like so many people were duped. Like you were conned. You bought into it, and that's on you because you were duped very 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 well. What do you guys think of? I saw who's been confirmed. So Blinken was confirmed, right, for Secretary of State. No, he hasn't been confirmed yet. I did see that Yellen got confirmed tonight, though, right, for Treasury.
Yeah,
first female, I think, for the Treasury Department. I think head of it. Let's see who else. Austin. I'm just kind of looking through the. Merrick Garland as Attorney General just makes me smile. Like I know you guys wanted, or at least Bork or Joe. Sorry, I think you wanted Doug Jones, but like Garland's. That's kind of good, like right, like. Oh
yeah, that's a troll. Like they did that for a reason.
The only thing better would have been if they would have went Doug Jones and then Breyer just decides to retire and then they get Garland back in there anyway into the Supreme Court.
They could do the exact opposite with Doug Jones. I mean, Doug Jones isn't
true.
A very, very old person either.
That's true. I didn't realize Vilsack was up for.
Yeah, Merrick Garland's 68. You wouldn't want to put him on the Supreme Court.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Let's hear.
No, Doug Jones is only 60.
Pete.
So.
God.
Dude, you know what they should do? Just for the greatest troll, is they should put like Barack Obama as the Supreme Court justice.
I mean, he's qualified. Like, you can't argue that he's not qualified. Like,
I mean, he was leader of the freaking Harvard Law Review and constitutional, law. So, I mean, yeah, I would say he's pretty well qualified.
If what's her name? Who was the most recent? What's her name that just got on the Supreme Court? Maybe Coney Barrett. If she was qualified with her. Essentially her career as a law professor at Harvard, like then Obama's certainly qualified as a constitutional law professor at Harvard. So
is it right that she was never practiced law, did she?
No, she did. She was appointed to like a court of appeals or something for like a year before she was nominated. So but it was for a very
short. She was a judge. She never practiced law. Yeah. She was never a lawyer.
Oh no, yeah, right. She was a judge. Yeah. I don't think she actually practiced law. I think she went into teaching after law school. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's did I see that for Veterans Affairs, McDonough, is that the same McDonough that was the Obama chief of staff? Wasn't it? I think I was just going through the list and I was looking at the. Oh, let's see. Yeah, Dennis McDonough. I think he was Obama's chief of staff at one point. Thought that was interesting, but I don't know. What
I had not seen that. Interesting. They're just bringing back all the greatest hits.
Where's Rom?
Yeah.
Really, when I saw Jen Psaki as press secretary, I swear I had Benghazi flashbacks. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's literally no one else that they could find to do that job other than her. Like so many of these people just have like YouTube clips of them having to explain like not good stuff that happened and were like politically contested. Like, what do I remember you from? Oh yeah, you were the spokesperson for like the State Department when Hillary Clinton was there. Gotcha. That's what I know you from.
She also like I think she's very good at her job, but like she didn't have
and she literally just worked at CNN too before that. Yeah. So she literally just went from the State Department to the CNN to the White House. Like, talk about confirming everything that everybody says about the media is that it's just one big circle of like, oh yeah, yeah, sure, I mean, yeah.
Let's cut them a little bait. I mean, we're not freaking putting like Hope Hicks in charge of communication, who literally has done nothing like in the sort her whole life. Like,
I mean, yeah, it's a different kind of bad. Don't get me wrong.
We don't
it's
have
not quite. Yeah,
we don't have the mooch coming on, just yelling cuss words at freaking reporters right now.
I mean, Jared Kushner, senior advisor, has zero experience at all in anything politics. Like,
he brokered Middle East peace by going around and offering money to countries that weren't at war with Israel, saying they weren't at war with Israel. So I mean, come on. Let's at least enjoy the 2 weeks of not craziness, and then we can start making fun of Jen Psaki.
Right. Yeah. The one I was excited about, I'm not sure, Bork, you might not be familiar. I don't know. If you are, I feel like maybe you'll disagree with this, but Avril Haines for Director of National Intelligence, I'm biased, obviously, but I was particularly excited. I mean, she was former deputy director of the CIA and was deputy DNI, I think, under Obama. But I know she's well-liked within the intelligence community. I was excited to see that, but I know for some that take umbrage with the Obama national security, foreign kind of affairs, drones, that whole kind of melting pot of issues, I thought maybe you would see that a little differently.
Yeah, I mean, like, Trump's drone policy was infinitely worse than Obama's, but like, which is quite a statement, but even still, like, Obama laid the framework so some psycho like Trump could eventually, get his hands on it. And, she was a big part of that. Like, I don't know, between that, like, the CIA's handling of like the rebels in Ukraine and then Syria, like, which ironically enough, another person was involved with the arming of Syrian rebels, and he's now our Secretary of Defense. But yeah, given how some of how the policies of the Obama administration played out, like, and ones that didn't play out particularly well, how a lot of those people have managed to find themselves back in pretty spectacular positions. That's why I kind of funnily said, like, just bring back Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. She is just as much qualified as anybody that could be nominated for it. But would she want to do it? Obviously not. But
right. I'm gonna grab my
at least she knows what she's doing with a lot of this stuff, and seems to be fairly effective with it.
I think a big issue that they're running into is they're trying, like the Pete nomination, they're trying to keep, names of the party that they kind of want to, keep, relevant. They must like Jen Psaki for a bigger role. They must like, obviously Pete needed to, stay in politics to stay relevant. I think, it seems like almost all Obama holdovers or, bringbacks are at jobs that, is a, promotion. So I don't know. A lot of it has to do with, you got to think back to them not knowing that they're not going to get a lot of help from the transition. So bringing people that knew what to do and knew how to work things might just be a start. I mean, we got used to Trump having so many turnovers and so many key roles, but I mean, it is pretty normal for, especially like, after the first midterm, you'll see people, circle out and everything. Like, if Biden makes the pledge not to run again or something, like Pete will for sure be gone after, the midterms because he'll want to run for president again.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's turnover in these roles. They probably just were bringing people in that knew what they were doing to start off because they just knew that they weren't going to get any help from a transition.
Yeah, no, it was just the Trump administration, particularly at the end, was just such a dumpster fire that you needed seasoned, veteran politicians that knew what they were doing, and they didn't have the luxuries with COVID and all this other stuff. You don't have the luxury of his term. So he needed people that were experienced and had an idea of what was going on and what to do. So, I mean, I think it was. I don't know. I overall, I'm not disappointed with.
I think you could probably make the same argument for a fresh look at old problems, bring in new people.
Yeah, no, and I'm not opposed to that,
right?
But
right, it's a decision you make.
I think your issues right now. I think your issues right now aren't old problems, though. I mean, these are really new problems that we've never dealt with before. So we kind of need people that, might not be the perfect. I'm not discrediting what you're saying at all. I get what you're saying. I get the frustration of not having, a, newer thinking, new, administration. But I mean, right now you couldn't afford having, people figuring out how to do their job, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's I would like that. I mean, I agree, Bork. That would be. I will be excited about that if that's the route they move after the midterms. I just think with the opportunity you had post Trump, I don't know. Maybe they played it a little safe and went with, some of the choices they had. But I mean, at this point, safe and boring for me is it's a welcome relief type of thing. So I don't know. But with that said, I do think the idea that, maybe they could have taken this issue, this opportunity they had and just kind of put in new faces and new voices and kind of went another direction and tried to, steer the ship in a completely different path than what has been kind of the norm. I think they could have done that. I also wouldn't have been upset with that either, but I don't know. Who knows what it'll play out. What, I don't know what, trying to think of anything else that's happened this week that was kind of noteworthy. I
got something here. Well, how about the great, irony of how for 4 years you just got everything. Hey, we're going to stick it to Democrats. We're going to shut down the government if they don't fund my wall. We're going to shut down the government to read Green Eggs and Ham. And now all of a sudden, Joe Biden puts out a plan for COVID relief. And besides, rational senators on the GOP side, which is a relative comment, but like all of them coming out and saying, oh, we need to be bipartisan. We need to unite the country. It's just like, no, like,
yeah,
come on, like really, like it's almost to a point where I just think the Republican platform is just to troll Democrats. That's it.
It's certainly that way. Like it is when you think of it in that context, it's funny. But yeah, I somebody tweeted, I don't even know who it was, but something along the lines of like, hey there, I was a Hillary Clinton voter, and nobody in the last 4 years reached out to me to see like how I felt about certain topics and da 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 da. So like, like it's like now all of a sudden after 4 years of just like we're gonna we have to like calm things down and like cool the temperature. Like, I mean, are you serious? This is coming from the party whose leader was like an absolute, like he was as insightful as anybody. Like, I mean, so like, oh, now that, you guys aren't, in charge of pulling the lever anymore. Like now we gotta, pull back and let everybody feel like, come on, give me a break.
It's a time for healing.
Yeah, time for healing. Yeah, so ridiculous. Yeah, it cracks me up. I that's what cracks me up more than anything. Is just like you guys were so confrontational. You guys like just some of the things that were said out of the last administration and by people who supported him. Now, like, oh, you guys aren't in charge anymore, so now we gotta like, oh boy, like, come on, snowflakes, get out of here.
Or hey, there were 70 million people that voted for Trump. We have to listen to them. I didn't see anybody say, hey, there were 70 million people that voted for Hillary Clinton. We have to listen to them. Like,
yeah, not to mention
a mandate behind her getting more votes than Trump, who lost the popular vote by like 8 million votes. Like, yeah. What the hell are you talking about?
Not to mention that when Hillary got those votes, it was more than what Trump had, and like now, now they're saying Trump, we got to respect these voters and blah blah blah, and it wasn't like it was even worse. So like, I mean, it's so
no, fuck off. That's not how it works. Sorry, it just doesn't work like that.
Yeah, get more votes.
You win by one vote. I win. Sorry, I don't win by one more. I just win.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't see George Bush. I mean, even talking before like hastily partisan politics, I didn't see anybody say like, "Oh, Al Gore really needs to be listened to right now in 2001." Like,
right.
Like, come on.
It's just a
cope.
Yeah, people are so
coping mechanism.
Yeah, people are so upset. Like, and for a lot of these people, like the McCarthys and stuff that were like fully on board of the Trump train, that now we're looking around and saying like, oh, like shit, like what do I do now? This is just them trying to tread water and until they can kind of see how things play out and figure out what their next move is. But like, yeah, I mean, sure, you know what, we can listen and work together and on things where we can do it. On structure probably is a place where we can get a broad agreement on something, but like there's not going to be an agreement on minimum wage. There's not going to be an agreement on stimulus. Like these things, like if the roles are reversed, you wouldn't be giving a second of thought to what the other side had to say these things. So like buying it, like cool, like yeah, well, yeah. If politics weren't broken, then yeah, maybe that would be a thing, but it's not reality. I don't know.
I actually ran into somebody arguing this with me. If you saw Biden's interview about what they were going to do with COVID, and he was kind of talking about it. What's up, Schmidt?
Hey, Schmidt.
Hey, what's up, guys? What's up?
They were talking about, Biden said he can't control the trajectory of the pandemic. And Fox News just edited that and said, oh, he's given up on freaking COVID already. And, you look at the whole quote, it says, we can affect the trajectory of COVID in the next 2 months.
Right.
Is this not the most simple thing that they've been doing the entire time? Oh, I can hear myself talking.
No, you're good, Schmidt. Go ahead.
Okay. Like, they've been doing this the entire time. Obviously, they're going to put a spin on everything, but they wait until a month, or literally, 5 days into his presidency, be like, oh, must be his policies working, right? Or guess what? It's been fake all along. It's such an idiotic remark. It's like, through the summer, we had a peak of coronaviruses, and then it went down, right? I mean, it's just like, it's basic shit. And they lose their mind. Yeah, I got energy.
Here.
Schmidt just comes in with a flamethrower. Just
I don't have any.
This is where the other half of the country gets to rage watch Fox News now and get mad at everything that Biden does.
God.
So this is Fox News. Like, I mean, it's tough. It really is tough to beat like Trump calling in from the White House, but I'm sure if Trump wants to, he can make plenty of calls into Fox News during the Biden administration or do interviews on Fox News, and it'll be absolutely huge television. So I wouldn't rule that out at this point. Yeah. Like we'll get to see the level of rage that goes on in Fox News pretty greatly, I think, at some point here.
You know what?
We haven't heard from Trump at all, surprisingly.
Even I'm looking for Trump quotes, like anywhere. Like I'm Googling what did Trump say today, and I can't find anything.
Yeah, that's.
I'm without the magical Trump juice.
That's the thing that people can't reconcile right now. He's just like they took Twitter away from him, and now he's just gone. He's just gone from our lives.
Yeah.
And can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, sorry, I had a thing that the connection was something or another. No, I saw this meme or tweet or something that was like it was on Inauguration Day, and it was like tonight on Hannity, and it was like it said it was like headline from Hannity. It was Biden's been president for 12 hours, and there's 400,000 Americans dead already. Like, but no, it's like I can tell you there's nobody more excited and happy about what happened with the election than Rupert Murdoch. Like, this is great for business for him. It won't be as good as, when Obama was president, because
can you hear me?
Oh,
did you just hear me go or like, whatever?
Yeah, we sure did.
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry. Going.
You don't have the race factor with Biden that you had, probably drummed up a lot of viewership as well. But people. Fox News had a thing the other day that like Hunter Biden was at the White House because he was going to church with the first family. Like why is that a headline? Like, in the hell did Trump ever go to church except for to hold the Bible for a photo op? Like it's like this idea that I don't know. That's going to be the new thing. There's going to, thank God, Republicans aren't in control of anything, because there would be hearings on Hunter Biden and all this ridiculous bullshit. Joe,
any irony in the thought that like Fox News is like getting mad that the son of a president that has possible drug relations is like in the White House. Like, if there's anybody that has hardcore proof that they're still a drug addict, like Junior, come on, man.
Yeah, I don't think Don Jr. has a septum left. I think he's snorted his way through that thing. But
and who cares? I don't care. Do whatever you want, dude. Like,
yeah,
but they just don't be the hypocrite party, and that's what they're turning into. Like, they have been, I guess, but since I've been actually paying attention to politics, it's like, wait a second, we were raised Christian, right? And I'm seeing all over these people. I don't know if it's QAnon or just protest. People being like, Jesus chose Trump. Jesus is the one who wanted Trump, and you'll see. It's like I'm Christian, and I'm like, is that the chosen one? Is that the one God laid his hand down and said, you, my son, will lead these people? You and Stormy Daniels, or you and all the jobs that you took away from people, or hiring people for terrible wages, and he can't be the answer, right? He can't be God's chosen son, right?
No.
Well, no. No, you're right. It's funny, but yeah, it's
sad.
Unless you actually get some of these people to be honest about why they actually did support Trump, and then you realize
I think it's mental illness. Honestly, I think these people, no joke. Like, I think they needed something to tell them that their thoughts were okay. You look at these people, there's no way they're okay. These people that are like protesting, wearing a flag all over their entire body, saying they're a patriot, being like, God loves Trump, God loves me, or what do I always say? God bless Dale, God bless Trump. You know?
Yeah, I mean, Schmidt just came like just full bore.
Just a bowl in a china shop, right?
Yeah,
I don't have. I work. Yeah, never mind. I'm not allowed to talk about that.
Yeah,
I got in trouble for that.
No, I mean, I don't know.
My voice is stifled in other areas, and so this is a
safe place.
Yeah, we should definitely retweet this and if anybody has any questions about anything, Halle Berry, whatever you want.
I mean, Schmidt, did you share the live stream on Facebook so that
I'm trying to, but I'm on such a crappy laptop that it's frozen right now, so all I can do is talk in here. I can't even see you guys moving.
Yeah. So that was you. I was wondering whose internet. I kept getting a message saying somebody's internet keeps cutting out, so I guess that answers the question. But man, I had something I was going to say, but Schmidt's just energy. Oh no, I got it. It was all the people that were we talked about this on an episode we recorded tonight that'll probably come out later this week. But the maybe we didn't record this. I don't remember. It might have been when in between episodes. But the New York Times article about Biden with the Rolex watch and like people freaking out, and it's like one of the things I saw on Twitter in response to that was the people saying, I mean, people are freaking out about Biden having a $15,000 watch, which, by the way, turned out to be his dead son's watch that he wears to remember his son. So, I mean, that in itself is the thing. But like, Trump, our previous president, paid like 15 times that amount of money to quiet a stripper that he had an affair with. Like
why does a Rolex matter?
Yeah, like, why are we worried about a Rolex? A $15,000? Yeah, it's for you and me. That's a lot of money for somebody who has been in politics. I mean, yeah, they make good money. I mean, they don't get rich doing it, but I mean, it's not a ridiculous amount of money. Like,
let's be honest.
Real quick, I have to admit I'm wrong, Kyle.
Oh my God, there's no way.
Wait, what?
Well, I haven't heard what it is yet.
Mitch McConnell dropped his demand for the Democrats to commit to losing the filibuster.
No way.
He did. So, for the people handful of people that are watching, there was an issue of with the Senate split, they had to have a negotiation with Democrats are essentially in control because they have the tie break. So they had to negotiate kind of the power agreement between Republicans and Democrats for the Senate. And McConnell was essentially saying that he was just going to jam it up and make it a pain in the ass to get through if Democrats didn't agree to not even take up the issue of the filibuster until the midterms. So, and the reason why this was an issue is because until they came to this, the Democrats couldn't chair the committees in the Senate. So, until they get this passed, whoever was the Republican in charge of that committee is still the chair of that committee. But it sounds like with what Joe just said, they'll figure that out. So that's good. I don't know. I think McConnell is.
I admit I'm wrong when you actually, oppose a, logical debate that proves me wrong.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. All the logic that sometimes you put forward is stunning, and it's hard to really decipher through all that logic that you have. But everybody can change. Maybe
I don't find it coincidental that you can't, cipher through a bunch of logic.
I like when you use words like coincidental and you soliloquy and all these words to make you. That used to be what I did back in 8th grade to win arguments. Okay, welcome to the real world here. Now it's all about fast talking. It's not really about facts anymore. It's about who says it first and fastest. That's all it is.
Come on, man.
That was like me trolling you guys the other night. Like I had you in the palm of my hand. What was that about?
Like, we knew what you were doing.
No, you didn't. You thought it was real. I didn't even know if I was doing it really. Maybe I wasn't trolling you. Boom.
Also,
mind blown.
Real quick,
get lost. Kyle has a message from me saying at the very start of this saying he's trolling us. So
also, real quick, Schmidt, I don't know if you have the chat pulled up on your thing or not, but my grandma Nan, she says, "Schmitty, you're the star."
Is that her? I didn't know who. Well, hi, Nanette.
First of all, Grandma,
this dude doesn't need a bigger head, and that's coming from
me. You're supposed to take my side, but anyway.
Well, did she ever see us growing up? Or she might have. I might have seen her.
Yeah, she went. You would recognize her if you saw her.
Yeah, I'm sure. She must be talking about basketball, back in the day, right?
No. It's interesting that basketball is where you went when football was clearly your best sport.
Yeah.
Who is the best of the early 2010s?
I mean, there's 2 quarterbacks in this chat room, and I think one of them was first team all conference. I think.
Oh, easy there. One of them also successfully played college football.
Oh yeah, Schmidt, how long do you last?
Dude, I'm 1 practice out of 2 that day. So
that day,
yeah.
Honestly, props to Bork. Out of the 4 of us, he's the only one that played college sports successfully.
Bork and my sister also played college sports.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah. Well, out of the 4 of us, Bork is also the only one with a bachelor's degree. So,
and we act like we know what we're talking about. Did you guys already talk about the impeachment and if that should be done currently, or we should wait on it, or we should do it at all?
We've done an episode on it, but we haven't talked about the recent since Biden took office and it's being sent over to the Senate and all that good stuff. I mean, it's not gonna happen.
No,
they're not gonna get. I mean, they're gonna get more votes than they did the last time around, but they're not gonna get they have to get 66 votes, right? Or 67?
Yeah, 2/3 majority. But how crazy would it be? It's not like out of the realm. It is out of the realm of possibility. But if McConnell stands behind it, that just sends a huge message. It legitimizes the whole impeachment process, in my opinion.
Well, I think it's already legitimized, but Yeah, that would be a big thing.
In Republican eyes, I'm sorry.
Yeah, well,
You know that damn Mitch McConnell, such a liberal.
Yeah, he's turncoat.
First of all, he's not going to do it, but even if he might, I don't know, he might. But did you see there's been talk amongst Senate Republicans, just some people saying that if he does vote for it, then they can no longer support him as the majority or the minority leader of in the Senate anymore. Like
Who the hell would they make minority leader? That's the scary part.
Like who? Who would it be?
Ted Cruz.
Yeah, I was about to say I could imagine them saying, "Oh, we're hitching our wagons to fucking Ted Cruz."
Would it be Ron Johnson?
No,
the Wisconsin guy. Oh my god.
No, because he's going to lose his re-election. They're going to put somebody that has a pretty safe seat.
Ted Cruz.
I think Ted Cruz would probably be the logical. Honestly,
he's as soft as baby shit.
What's the guy's name from in the Senate from Florida? Rick Scott.
Rick Scott.
Yeah, former. Yeah.
How good is his brain?
They try to
very smooth.
40 a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I was curious.
That's
like the next thing. Like, I mean, the leader of the Republican Party looks like a fucking turtle, and is one of the most boring people to listen to talk to. So like the bar isn't that high to get.
Thought about that.
The bar isn't that high to get over, but you at least need to be able to put some sentences together, which, I mean, Ted Cruz is at least done, not well because everybody hates him, but who else is there? Like, I can't think of anybody that pops out in my head that Senator Paul Ryan.
Actually, yes.
That would be the only one, but I think I think people like him and like Nikki Haley all have they have bigger ambitions than becoming senators at this point. So
right.
What about leader or minority? Leader Graham.
No, dude, he's a mess. He's back and forth so much. Lindsey Graham is literally whichever the way the wind's blowing in the Republican Party, he puts his kite up and he just flies right along with it. It's like in the beginning, no one like if we elect Trump, he's going to be one of the worst decisions in the Republican Party that we ever had, or whatever. And then he's like, "I love Trump. He's like my savior, and I love him. We've been together so long, and I hope you guys don't impeach him. He's my friend." That's how I feel. He's like back and forth so much. It's
going with that. What? I saw a meme the other day that they had a picture of Lindsey Graham and said, now that Major and Champ have moved into the White House, Lindsey Graham's no longer the White House pet.
I saw that.
Watching him cry during the Kavanaugh confirmation was one of the most pathetic. I can't believe. Look at this, how they've treated this man. He's a good man. I swear to God.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Jesus Christ, dude. Have a little dignity for yourself.
I like beer. You like beer.
At some point, don't you realize that you're just embarrassing yourself? Like, my good gracious.
Well, Cory Booker didn't stop anywhere short of it. So, I mean.
was it Booker was the Spartacus? Was that him? Oh my God. Yeah. Real quick, a thank you to good old Mr. Keg, Joe's dad. He liked the video. I don't know if he's watching, but I saw that he liked the video, so thank you to him. Schmidt and I have talked about a lot about somebody mentioned Paul Ryan. I think Bork, you mentioned Paul Ryan, and how I think there's a lot of people who think that Paul Ryan actually is just done with politics, that like he left and he just got out. I think his motives for it all were very I think he was just smarter than everybody else and I'm going to distance myself from Trump. I think he saw how this was going to go and wanted to put some separation between him and Trump. And so now he can say like, oh, yep, I wasn't a part of this. Like, I wasn't a part of all this craziness of the last 2 years of Trump. And And but I can come back and I can kind of bring us back to the Republican Party that, in his mind, that is the good Republican Party. Essentially the Tea Party. It was the budget hawks and deficit hawks and stuff. But Schmidt and I have talked about that a little bit. That I will be surprised if he doesn't run in 2024 for president again.
Wouldn't that be the ultimate big brain, crinkle brain move, is to get out of politics, seeing Donald Trump coming? I mean, now he gets to come back with a clean slate. He looks like the savior of the Republican Party. He's clean cut. He's got good Republican morals and values, and he was the superstar of this party. I don't know what happened to him or why he retired, but
I think it was just
because he was going to lose his seat.
I
don't know.
Dude, that's not a strong. He was not in a stronghold district. I mean, it's a union, Janesville, and union type, factory district, which have trended towards Republicans the last 30 years. But he's not in a safe district. It's kind of like, oh God, I just had a brain fart. But there's somebody else that I was.
No, but to your point,
having talks about who was maybe going to replace Pelosi and Bustos before she just destroyed the 2020 congressional chances for Democrats. She was on the name because she's high up in leadership and seniority. And one of the things I always read on the internet was she better shore up her own district before she ever talks about being the House Speaker.
Yeah, well, and that makes it even a smarter move by Paul Ryan, because his popularity his popularity in Wisconsin might not have been as strong, but his popularity within the Republican Party was pretty high. So get out before you suffer, something because if he loses his seat, then his chances of running for president again are gone forever. But he got out, he doesn't have to deal with that issue. I don't know.
How pathetic. Oh, go ahead.
He just struggled. No, I was just gonna struggled so much with gaining traction on a national level. He's been involved in national politics before, and he played second fiddle to Mitt Romney.
Does anybody does anybody remember his debate with Joe Biden in 2012?
Yeah, I was just literally he literally got made to look like an absolute fool by
Jack Kennedy.
Joe Biden. Yeah,
so now you're Jack Kennedy.
Yeah, so whoever Biden's speech classes, granted it was 8 years ago, but Paul Ryan couldn't hold a candle to Joe Biden in a VP debate, in 2012. So no, I agree. I just think that I think the conditions right now are beneficial to him if he wants to get back in and run again, because he can make the pitch. I don't agree with it, and I think it'll be effective. I think he can make the case that he's more of a Republican Party, that is more rational and not so crazy and stuff. I think it's bullshit, but I think that will be an effective message if he does decide to run again.
So you're saying he can get the pedophiles, Kyle? Is he the one that's going to get them? I love the QAnon and where it came from. The fact that
we talked about this. We talked about this on one of the episodes. I don't know. I keep forgetting what we were recording and what we weren't, but Bork essentially made the comment of yeah, we were recording this with we were talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene. Was Trump was supposed to be the guy that took care of all this, and he lost. So is he part of the pedophiles now, or how does that work? I don't know.
Well, it's like every other rapture or end of the world 2012, whatever you want to call it, end of the world scheme, Y2K. They kick the can down the road. So it comes up to this point, hey, everybody invest money into us. The rapture's coming. Everybody will meet here for the rapture. And then it doesn't come, and you go, this must be a sign from God that we need to move forward and gather more people. So tell your friends and family about the future rapture that I've now recalculated from scripture for 3 months from now. Okay, everybody get your friends and family and subscribe to theraptureshappening.com. No, that's what this all is. It's people that fall into the belief system that the world's going to end, they get scared, but they feel like they've got some special knowledge now. And what it really is, it's a scam, or it's a scheme to get money, or like on 4chan, that's how people don't know this, but that's how flat Earth started. People go, how in the world would we think that flat Earth's a real thing? And what it really is that on 4chan, they started trolling people in comments, being like, yeah, and flat Earth's real too, or the world's flat. And then people took that as deep state, deep internet truth, and that's how all this stuff starts.
Then Kyrie, thought it was.
Yeah. The same thing with the flat Earth is exactly what QAnon is. And all those deep-seated conspiracy theories. Except landing on the moon. That was unlikely.
Yeah.
Oh.
Go ahead, Joe.
None.
Nothing he says. I don't know. I've been like reinvigorated here by Schmidt. He came with the energy. Joe doesn't work tomorrow. Bork, do you have to work tomorrow? I'm assuming Bork probably has to go to work tomorrow.
I'm working from home tomorrow.
Oh, nice. Schmidt, what about you? Schmidt has to be at work in an hour and a half.
No, yeah, like I don't have to work till Wednesday, but I've been on nights for like 20 weeks. We got 10 viewers now.
Oh, do we?
We're bringing the heat.
Mine says 5. But
on my Facebook page, it's 10.
Is that 10 likes or like 10?
10 eyeballs, buddy.
Oh, dope. Good. Cool.
10 eyeballs.
I'm waiting for a comment. I want someone to comment. Oh, are you saying you guys got to go? Is that what
No,
you're saying?
No, I'm good. 10 eyeballs.
You're lucky to have a job to go to, okay? Thank Donald J. Genius Trump for that.
Also, never mind the fact that if 10 people were watching, it would actually be 20 eyeballs, not 10 eyeballs. But
nope. Facebook tells me there's only 11 by the eyeball there.
11.
That's why we're seeing 5 and he's saying 10. Now I get it.
Yeah. Oh, boy. 11.
Good boy, Joey.
11.
He just said good boy, Joey.
No, it said good point. Good point.
Oh, I thought you said good boy, Joey. I was like,
well, for whoever that 11th eyeball is, I'm sorry that you're missing your other eye.
is it Representative Crenshaw?
Oh, Jesus.
We just lost everybody.
Where's Pete Davidson when you need him?
Yeah. Oh, that was so funny. He's like, surely the guy's wearing an eye patch. He's got to have a sense of humor.
Well, for whoever.
Shit.
Schmidt's a hot mess. He's just fucking.
It's because I'm on this shitty little laptop that I can't even function because I'm trying to look up stuff right now, like who's in the Congress for the Senate, and I'm seeing showing off my Blackhawks sweatshirt. Real knowledge.
Who's in the Congress for the Senate? What?
Oh, sorry. Who's a Republican in the Senate? In our
that's fine. The Congress is the building. The Senate is a side of it. Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah.
You're just working your way down.
Yeah. I don't have to be descriptive. This is America. I have free speech. I can say what I please.
You are that new baby deer of the Moose Club of just coming in, having no idea what you're doing, but just going.
I saw what you guys were doing. You guys need some more people to argue with you. That's what you need.
No, you're right.
I'm here to bring the fire.
Yeah, I agree. I think it would be good to have, but you're not really arguing with us. You're
not yet.
You're pretty much reinforcing what we're saying. Just
but
more
that's
with a fake something accent.
That's the plan. Is to get you guys on my side and then put that dagger right in your side.
It's some kind of accent.
Here we go. Donald Borkovac. Hey, Donald. Hey, DJ. Dark horse candidate for the Republicans in 2024.
The My Pillows guy. I'm telling you.
My
Pillows guy. Yes, Mike Lindell. Yes, it's.
Who do you got?
Is coming.
The former. I mean, that's a good one. Former coke addict that decided to make pillows and like became buddies with Trump. I mean, that's a good one. I definitely have people in my life that would be in favor of that candidacy. So, man, come back to me. I got to think about that dark horse candidate.
I'll say Ben Sass.
I mean, I can only hope if that's who comes out of the Republican Party, that would give me a sense of relief. Not that I would want him to win, but I mean, it would be a
return to like this earth.
Yeah.
Bork, what's your dark horse candidate? I got a couple in mind.
I'm going with Mike Lindell. Yeah,
Mike Lindell.
Seriously,
okay, right.
Yes. Yep. Seriously.
All right,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Tucker Carlson. Probably makes a run in 2024, or Sean Hannity. And I mean, you joke about this?
No,
you wait for Tucker Carlson to.
There's no way they're gonna run, because if Big Trump doesn't run, Junior is definitely going to run.
No, I don't think so. I think what they're gonna be smart. First of all, what Schmidt said, it sounds crazy, but like there's been a lot of chatter on like conservative like message boards and stuff for Tucker Carlson to run. Like it's like not an unpopular thing. Like it's
he doesn't back down. Yeah, even after everything that happened with the Capitol riot and all that, he doubled down. Yeah, and you know who likes that? Republican loyalist, like where nothing can be wrong.
I mean, it would be he would. I mean, granted, I didn't think Trump had a chance, so maybe he would have a chance. But I mean, as far as
a chance,
as far as Trump Jr., first of all, like make sure that he still has like nostrils to breathe out of, you know, instead of cocaine that he's snorting. But
he will.
But
they're bigger.
See, that's the problem with Tucker and Hannity. They don't appeal to like the Trump people, the real Trump people, like the crazy people. That's where you get Lindell to come in, and then the establishment people are gonna come along regardless of who comes along. Like,
dude, I got it.
They're along for the ride. You know,
Tucker,
no matter what comes through.
Tucker and Lindell, pillows and policy.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
They need Tucker and Hannity to stay where they are, because honestly, if OAN and Breitbart and all of them keep moving, Newsmax keep on moving the trajectory they are, I don't think Fox is going to have much of an avenue. So they're going to need to keep these, blasphemous people where they're at.
Yeah. Well, and back to what you were saying about Donald Trump Jr. I think they're I'm giving them a lot of credit. I think they're smarter than that. And I think what their plan is going to be is they're going to have Ivanka run against Rubio in Florida for the Senate. And I think they're going to get Ivanka in the door. And I think the plan is they're going to try and get Ivanka to run for president sometime down the road. But which would be a much better decision if you're picking somebody in the Trump lineage to run. Like Ivanka's the only other option that is.
Eric?
No, it's Ivanka.
No,
but
Eric.
I know. I'm saying
the Suns are just putrid to listen to it.
Yeah. Joe, did you say Barron or Eric?
I said Eric.
Eric. Oh yeah. Well, yeah, no.
There's also talk and legitimate.
Yeah. My dark horse candidate though for 2024. Sorry. Go ahead. I couldn't hear you.
Run for president or run for senator of North Carolina. Eric's wife.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's possible. I don't know. Real quick, my dark horse candidate for 2024 is Matt Gaetz.
Oh, fuck.
Dude, no.
Matty Gaetz, absolutely not.
I will.
He is Trump personified. Like he is like.
No, he is not. That's the problem. That like the Trump kids and Matty Gaetz, all of them have 0% of the charisma that Donald Trump has. None of them are as good as him.
I agree. Yeah. We're not saying who's going to win. We're just saying who's going to run. And I think he's going to
win. Yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah. Sure.
I think Kyle's onto something though. Believe it or not. Like Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz literally knows how to hit that nerve of every Democrat. And you might be seeing people graduate to that type of Republican once they get beat on these next 4 years with Democrat policies. Because at least the next 2 years, we're going to get some policies done. And they're going to feel like they've been violated. And Matt Gaetz is going to be able to reach that same tone that Trump had that made everybody feel like, oh, our time's coming. Gaetz might be able to pull that off. So I agree with you on that.
Two things. Donald, I do agree with what your premise of your question is, but the ultimate question is if they were trying to push somebody more towards the middle, would their constituents support them?
Yeah. Well, and to that point,
honestly, I think Trey Gowdy would be an interesting person to follow.
That's interesting.
I think he's in the same boat as Paul Ryan. I think he got out for the same purpose to run at some point. But no, I think DJ's point, DJ Donald, whatever, I forget what we used to call him when we were kids. I haven't talked to him in so long. But his question, do you think they try to come to the middle and try to get some Democrats that aren't fans of Biden? Well, the Democrats that aren't going to be fans of Biden aren't moderate Democrats that might be open to voting for a Republican. The Democrats that aren't going to be fans of Biden are going to be further left candidates that would never vote for a Republican candidate. I think maybe you guys think differently, but I think like those undecided moderate voters, I don't think are. I mean, there's certainly Republican candidates that they can run that could appeal to those voters and get some of those votes back. But by and large, I don't think it's going to be, the voter that's going to leave Biden for, if it's anybody even remotely close to Trump, I don't think it's not going to be the left, the far left voters. But
Kyle, I got an exercise for you, and I want you to do this.
An extra, okay, Professor Schmidt.
I want you to put your MAGA hat on. Okay,
I'm sure we have around here.
I'm sure you do. And in 2024, I want you to tell me the policies that's going to get you elected. What are you going to run on? And I'll give you a little bit of time here to think. What are you going to run on that is going to reach the whole Republican Party? What's going to get you past the primaries? What's going to get you past even Donald J. Trump? What's going to reach the Republican base and obviously get the nomination?
Well, is Trump running?
Let's say Trump.
If Trump's running, a big difference. If Trump's running, there is no field.
Yeah.
If Trump runs, there is no field.
Yeah, if Trump runs, it's just we're going to just run it back. It's going to be the same thing.
Yeah.
Let's say Trump's impeached.
If it's not Trump, I think what's going to happen over the next 4 years is it's just going to be a rinse and repeat of what happened during Obama's first term. We've done an episode on this. It's going to be deficit hawks are going to come out and say spending is out of control. Like we broke everything, but now we're not going to let you do the things you need to do to fix it fiscally. So we're going to, you spending's out of control. The debt, the deficit, we didn't care when Trump, blew up the deficit to over $1 trillion. Like we didn't care then, but now it's a problem. And they're just going to keep hammering that message, I think. I mean, and then the normal things that they're coming for your guns, abortion, like the normal Republican staples, but
you're a Republican, Kyle. I want you to be like, convince me that to vote for you, Kyle Carson, Republican 2024. What is it that the Democrat? I just want to do like a base. Like, if you want me to do it, I can do it. I mean, I'll.
Oh, you want like an actual a pitch,
yeah. Tell me why should I elect a Republican candidate in 2024 compared to Biden running again when he's going to be 82? And why should you? Yeah.
Oh well, I mean I'm not a politician, so I'm not as polished, but it's going to be to the effect of Biden's corrupt. His kid they're in the pockets of China. All these things. Like he's been a career politician. He hasn't accomplished anything in his 50 years of being blah, blah, blah. The deficit is out of control. and in all likelihood, we're probably going to there's going to be a downturn in the economy. Like it's been on an upward trend outside of COVID for a while. Like it's It's going to happen again. It's going to bad things are going to happen under Biden that are completely out of his control.
Can we get a soundbite of all this? This is all I wanted. I just wanted a clip where we got Kyle saying that all this is bad. No, I totally agree with you. The thing to run on is
out of context, like just
yes, yep. the thing that is like Republican presidential nominee. First of all, they're going to try and take your guns again. I know they didn't get it with these last 4 years, like you said, but they're coming for your guns, your religion, and your freedom. Okay. And what am I going to protect? Number one, we're going to protect your freedom with our guns, and we will do whatever we have to do to get rid of this monstrosity Russian China Congress, this Russian China administration. Okay. And we're going to save America from the hell that the Democrats, Alex Jones, like.
Right. Yeah. They're turning the frogs gay. Yeah. Like, no, I mean, yeah, I mean, it doesn't take a very
honestly. What I think you would see is a Republican run off the fact that the economic recovery, based on the downturn that's coming, based on the fact that the Republicans cut down the amount of aid was going out in the recovery, I would think that would be probably a big pillar of the platform. And then on top of that, probably some sort of either immigration or kind of a not necessarily immigration bend, but like Antifa, like some sort of backlash against like the like police and whatnot. That's what I would guess would be like the two big, like Law and Order, the classic. Just call it Law and Order. Like Democrats don't support the Law and Order, like. And you can just point to anything and be like, yep, see, this is why Democrats, you can't put them in charge of stuff like this because stuff like this happens. So I think those would be the two big policy issues if I were a Republican presidential candidate.
Kind of going back a little bit to what your brother Bork had said. Okay, so do you think... What is more likely? And well, first, let's look at, well, we know what the smart decision would be, but what do you think is more likely? Do you think that there will be a shift back towards more, I mean, more, take that for whatever you want it to mean, more moderate Republican like candidates, or do you think it's going to keep moving in the direction of like more Trumpy type candidates? I mean, this is all assuming that Trump doesn't run again. Like, what do you think they move back more towards closer to the center? Even though what they're close to the center before wasn't really close to the center, or is it keep moving further and further right? What do you guys think about that? Joe, what do you think?
Do I think Republicans are going to try to start? I must have missed the question fully. Sorry.
Do you think after everything that's happened, if Trump doesn't run again, do you think they're going to move the Republican Party in terms of national politics? Are they going to try and come back to earth and reality and kind of move towards the more Paul Ryan type candidate, back to more moderate politics, or is it going to keep moving in the direction with Trump?
I mean, I think what's scary about where the Democratic or the Republican Party is right now, I don't think they know where. I don't think the party has control, or like, I shouldn't say control because that makes it sound bad, but they don't have like leadership that is like knows
on board.
No, it doesn't know where its voters are.
Yeah, they don't know where it's going to go.
Yeah. So, I mean, like I said to DJ or Donald, or I don't understand where, like, even if they wanted to promote somebody to the max, put them on rocket boost, Ben Sass or Paul Ryan or James Langford or Trey Gowdy. Like, even if they put the rocket boosters on them like they did with Jeb Bush, I mean, you don't know where that's going.
Right.
Like, it could just really flop. Like with the Democratic Party, and I think, sadly, Bork, I'm not trying to get a cheap laugh, but Bork can probably attest to this more than anybody. Like, usually when the Democratic Party gets behind somebody, they win. When the Republican Party gets behind somebody, there's not good precedence lately that they're going to win.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good point. I think to that point, though, I think that's a big reason why the Lindsey Grahams and the Ted Cruzes of the world that were very in opposition of Trump not that long ago, like, they don't know what's happening. So they are just trying to, read the tea leaves, and that's why their shift on Trump was so glaring, is they didn't know what to do either. So I mean, I think, like, if people like that have been around DC for this long can't figure it out, then yeah, I don't think that there's, like, it's just, yeah, I think that's a really good point, that they don't know.
Bork mentioned it in our episode about the freshman Congress representatives. I mean, in 2 years, if, the QAnon crazies go away and, these gun-toting, crazies, don't vote in such numbers, like, well, Warren, Boebert, and Green could have hard times winning. So, like, it's really hard, because a lot of the people that increased, or a lot of the craziest people in the Republican Party are the people that really just jumped on board to voting. Like, so, hi, Schmidt's cat.
I don't know what he's doing. Get down. God damn it.
It's really tough to gauge where you want your party to go and where to put your, mass behind if you don't know where your party's at.
I think we know where the party's at. I think we're making this all too confusing. They just got 75 million votes, maybe 80 million, depending on who you ask. I don't know. But they got 75 million votes, and it was for Donald Trump.
Yeah, but
more than anything else.
What if he doesn't run?
The idea behind Trump is, in my opinion, if he wasn't, you can be that brazen and yet not be Donald Trump. You can act like, and you're seeing people try and do it, and you can do it. You just have to get the right person for it, because Ted Cruz is trying to do it, but he can't do it.
No. And see, I think that's fundamentally the problem. Like, Donald Trump, in his own right, he's caught the magic in the bottle. Like, his whole persona was built around being, like, the person that you could potentially see being the president. Like, all the people that we see right now and that we've thrown out are, at the heart, politicians. Like,
you're exactly right.
That's why I say the Lindell pick, because whoever
so you're serious about?
Yes, I am 100% serious. Whoever the quote unquote, like, is crazy. Like, whatever the establishment side of the Republican Party decides with, they're going to go with. So it's how you thread the needle to get the extra boost of Trump's base, all of those people. How do you get those people to come along? Who's the best inheritor of those people? And I don't know, but, like, the only person that's close is Lindell. Is it more likely a character that is yet to emerge? I think that is it. It's at least 60-40 in favor of this unknown person to emerge.
No, I agree.
But as far as, like, someone that we at least know of, like, yeah, him. Like, if he could, like, assuming old demons don't arise, given the level of, like, potential power that he's going to hold over people, Mr. What was his drug of choice? Cocaine user. As long as he can get through that, which I don't imagine he would have any problems with that, then you really do have someone who is, no more in a better position to like, he's not any more ideologically coherent than Trump, but he could potentially thread the needle between those two voter bases that you now apparently need, because you do need to be able to at least contest the suburbs with Democrats. Like you're just going to have to be able to do that. So you need to be able to put on enough of a good enough face without all of like the, white racism, nationalism. You can't be the outright blatant about some of that stuff, and there are ways to do that, which is kind of a scary thought to think about. So, like, if you were able to do that, but keep enough of a straight Republican face enough on it, and then just have the establishment get behind you, then that's why I'm so hesitant to say that like a known quantity in the political realm right now is going to be the one that emerges to unite the Trump base, because unless it is him, like, and that's what I'm thinking, like, sure, he could get removed right now and then not be able to run again, but he could just die. And if he died, then I think things would be like, he's old. Like, he is an old guy right now. Like,
and he had COVID, and we don't know.
And he had COVID, right?
We don't want that to happen. Just for
right. I'm not saying that like he should be killed. I'm just saying that like he could die at some point.
Anybody could.
So like, right, yeah. So like, what do you do? So what do you do at that point when you're like, trying to project out someone who can unite that kind of political base? Because it's not impossible to imagine if he runs again, he could win. Like that I don't think is impossible.
No.
Go ahead, Kyle. No, I was gonna say Bork's completely right here. I do think the next candidate, now that he, just listening to that for sure, is going to be a non-politician. I think the way the base is, because the base has shifted from the suburbs to the middle class for the Republican Party.
Well,
I see it. It used to be the party of money. Now it's the party of the factory workers, and I just have to agree with that. Like, your middle class is relates with the Republican Party, and you're rich. The more people with a lot more money are now starting to relate with the Democrat Party. There's a shift going on.
Yeah. So
they got to get someone who. I'm sorry. One last point. They got to get Bork, and it's the point Bork's making. They have to get someone who they believe in, and it's not going to be a politician. I agree with that. I don't think it's going to be a politician.
I don't disagree with that. One point to that, and I think Joe might have some thoughts to that, and then maybe we'll probably wrap up here. At first, I thought Bork was just kidding about the.
Oh, I know.
But no, like you do make like if it comes down to like if the hardcore Trumpers are going to turn out and vote again, like if they're not like if this didn't put them off of politics, like if they're going to come out and vote again, then somebody like that is definitely in the ballgame. As scary as that is, like if these QAnons and the megas and all these people, like if they are still in like all about this and into politics and it wasn't just Trump got me excited and now he's gone, so I don't care anymore.
Good point.
And if they're still around and are motivated and are coming out, then I think somebody like that is very plausible. Like maybe it won't be him, but like you said, it's somebody similar to that. I think it's very, very possible. Yeah, but if it's not, like, I mean, if these people are just now like, the system screwed me, like it's all fixed, and blah, blah. If they check out of politics, then I think somebody like that, it's going to be. I think it'll be more of a kind of a regression to the mean, a more traditional type politician. But that I think we'll have more of an idea with the midterms how.
Right.
But even then though, it's not as it's still.
We could have a new mean.
Yeah, but even then it's still cloudy because it's a midterm and it's not the same as
right.
So I don't know. But Joe, did you have some thoughts to any of that? I thought maybe you looked like you did.
Yeah, no, that's kind of where I started off the whole thing with. I just don't. It's really hard to read where this party is going because you're right. And they've talked about this continuously on CNN and MSNBC and not so much on Fox because they don't want to split the party. But like, I don't think there's any like non-legitimate thought process to think that after what these primaries are going to look like in the next 2 years of like a serious chance that they try to push if not a complete third party, but like a fissure of just the crazies versus the moderates, and then see if they come back together in the presidential, because it's going to be hard to. I know moderate Republicans that were just absolutely appalled by the last 2 months of the Trump presidency. So yeah. I do believe in a presidential, they'll end up coming together, but the setup to that could greatly change who the nominee is.
Well, and if Trump is done in politics, like running for office, if he actually, if some of the rumors are true and he does actually try and start his own news outlet, like what you're saying is only going to make it even more of a reality. Like there's already talks about conservatives, just like the division within the party right now, like having two different parties within conservative politics. And I mean, if he starts his own news outlet, like, I mean, that would just almost guarantee, I think. I mean,
that's going to set up the revenue stream that a new party would need to contest. Like, but hey, as a Democrat, Godspeed to you. Go do it.
Go ahead. Please do. Yeah, please do.
Because it's only going to absolutely, I mean, they might win some congressional seats for sure. They might even sneak out a Senate race in like the South or something. But like a presidential, if you're running two conservative presidents,
yeah,
I don't think Democrats would have.
You think Georgia's an issue now? Imagine, two conservative candidates running against. Yeah, it's just not going to be good. I don't know, but we'll see. I think it's. I don't know. I think for anybody who thinks politics is going to be boring now, I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. It's not going to be boring. Like, I mean, like Biden's going to give us plenty of material. Like it's going to be, there's going to be plenty with Biden that we can have fun with. Granted, I don't think
really well though.
There won't be the sinister motive behind it. I don't think that. I think we've kind of gotten used to in the last 4 years, but yeah, I mean, the people always talk about the liberal media, but I mean, nobody gets more viewers than Fox News. So, I mean, the right-wing media machine is going to be on full bore like these next few years. So it's not gonna be boring for sure, not at all. And just figuring out what the hell the Republican Party does from here, that by itself, I think is going to be super, super interesting to watch. But Tucker, is that what Schmidt said?
Tucker Carlson is going to be the presidential nominee. But
Bold.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Kyle. I know you said you wanted to wrap this up, and hopefully we do come back to more sense of calm within politics so we can talk about other things. But right now, it's definitely seemed to taken a notch back. You can see it on Facebook. You can see it everywhere. I think it's taken a step down for right now. But Bork said Biden's going to have some drama. You're absolutely right. You can see he's got some fire in his. He's got some whatever. He kind of has some Trumpisms.
Yeah. And to your point,
come on, man.
Come on, man.
Shut up, man.
You mentioned Facebook. We have an episode. We've kind of we were a couple weeks ago, actually. We're just kind of saving it for a rainy day, but we do have an episode that we'll post eventually on big tech, with all the censorship and all that stuff, and just generally the role of big tech in our society and stuff. But with all that said, make sure that you guys, anybody watching, still
I'll look
make sure you like, follow, share, subscribe. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube at the Moose Club Pod. And then our regularly recorded episodes, you can also get us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts by searching the Moose Club. So with that, we've been going for almost 2 hours, so I think probably can wrap it up here. Unless anybody has any final thoughts besides Tucker 2024.
I'm in. I'm all in, baby.
All right. Well, with that said, thanks for watching, and be on the lookout for future episodes and live streams.